The goal is to not bring up my dad.
The go Did I just hear you say the goal is to not bring up your dad? Oh, Dad, I
That's an
love your
impossible
dad though.
goal.
He's one of my favorite front people, singers and bands ever. That's a band right there that should have been huge. I don't know. I know what went wrong. They do too, probably too. The label, they were on the wrong record label, you know. RCA was not the right label.
Yeah,
But
I think it was a lot of things. The way they tell it is like they had already changed their lineup like twice. Uh, Everyone was kind of like dissolving a little bit, and then my dad put the nail in the coffin to go take care of his 2-year-old, which was me.
It's his fault.
Yeah, so I ruined the dream. It wasn't even the label.
you didn't see what your brother did behind you, but I did. And if you're listening, folks, you'll have to go on YouTube to see that. I was really bummed out that we had scheduled to do a live thing with you and Megan, and all of a sudden I get to the studio after driving an hour and a half to go there, by the way, at 6:30 in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, the equipment's not working." I'm like, "What?" And
Yeah,
it never happened before. So listen, I'm not dissing WMFO because I love that station, but it's never happened before. So
no, it was crazy when you put me on the phone with the guy. He was like, right after I talked to you, I'm talking to like the general manager or whatever because like the whole entire station is down. He was basically like, I don't have time to talk to you, but yes, Rico's not lying.
he called me Rico. Wow, that's cool. Rico is my actually my nickname a long time ago, and that's why I used the name. You know what? I was thinking before we talk about this amazing, and I mean, I am not exaggerating, amazing record. And I can't believe it's not getting more attention than it is. Before we talk about that, how about a brief history here of the band for people that aren't familiar? I think it all started around 2017.
Holy sh! Yeah, we try to not tell people that we've been around for that long. No,
Okay, sorry,
we
people.
no, I'm just kidding. Me and Kevin started with his brother as a three piece like a long time ago.
I think that was like 2011, but it wasn't like an actual band or anything yet. It's just
Yeah, like as far as jamming.
yeah.
But yeah, but by 2020, the three piece put out our first album that we like of songs we had written and played out and stuff like that. And after COVID, we ended up wanting to be a little bit different. We ended up adding members, and we got Brian, who's not here right now, but on guitar, and then Megan as like co-songwriter and every instrument you can think of.
She's taking over.
Yeah. And then yeah, like the songwriting dynamic shift from me and Danny to me and Megan and kind of became a whole different band.
We're in darkness now.
We've
Sorry.
already had technical problems before we started, folks, and now we have more. But it's okay. It's only rock and roll. What you haven't mentioned is a six-song demo in 2018, what was left single in also 2018. Then you recorded with Richard Marr, who ironically I'm talking to tomorrow about his new studio. The
Oh,
Everything
nice.
is Fine. What I didn't really notice before when we talked is that Megan actually started contributing on that record because she gets a credit on that record. So you
Yeah.
guys, how did the idea come? Let's just, get Megan in the band.
Well,
I
that honestly, that started because Megan and I were working together, and just over the course of the time that we were hanging out, I would hear her singing something or another, and when we were recording "Everything Is Fine," the vocals for it, um, we kind of had this idea bouncing around that Max wanted to have some kind of a female vocal on there. And we had, female friends who were pretty good singers, but she was just, a kind of a head better and had more experience at it. So I asked her, and she was like more than excited to do it. And then once
the way I remember it is that she wasn't excited, that she was like it's funny because
she was
now
shy,
I've known
so
Megan for so long now, but at the time, like it's funny to think back on that because she was just like super quiet and like I remember she was like, what do you want me to do?" And I was like, "Oh God, this is who knows how this is gonna go." And I gave her some small directions of things that I had pictured, and she nailed it. And Yeah, it's really funny because like to this day, like if I do happen to listen to Everything Is Fine, the album that we're talking about, yeah, like you hear her vocals and it's just like, oh, it's Blame It on Whitman, like the way that I don't know, it's funny to me. And then maybe 2 years later, it took a long time, but like maybe 2 years later when we were looking to add members, yeah, she was an obvious choice. We knew that she played clarinet, and the idea of having clarinet on emo songs was really appealing to me, at least. And so she came in to play clarinet and sing, and then ended up playing synthesizer and keys. And she's also a songwriter, so she came in with songs and that she had written on guitar. So she ended up playing guitar as well. So now she plays every instrument.
And you
The
mentioned it,
trumpet is next, right? No. We're gonna be a full ska band at that point.
and you mentioned it took a couple of years, and 2020, that was like a wash for. Was it a complete wash for you guys too?
At the time, it felt like a wash because we had spent forever recording this album. Like you were talking about Richard Marr, like we spent multiple days in his studio, and then after that, we continued to record the album in like my house at the practice spot in Whitman. And like we spent forever on that album. Like that album has violins on it and all types of crazy shit. And I mixed it and mastered it myself.
It's a good
And
starting place, I think, for people that, aren't familiar with the band. I mean, I'm gonna mention Bait and do you call it and Switch or just Switch?
switch,
And
because
Switch, yeah.
the joke behind that was we were doing some twinkly emo stuff that got more popular than our other stuff. So we were like, okay, we like twinkly emo. Let's write some twinkly emo. And so we put that out as Bait. And then really deep down, what we do is like not really twinkly emo. So then we put out and Switch and gave them the like kind of like true Whitman sound. Yeah, the Bait and Switch.
Yeah, I mean, when you listen to a song like Confidence Back, it's not really an emo song to me. But, maybe, I mean, Marigold, as you know, is the song that I really latched onto when I first heard, you got to bring up Kurt again, yucky guy. He told me he had sons that were musicians. You should check out my sons. And it didn't register. And then I remember when I met you guys at New Alliance, talking to Kevin, and then you came out and you're talking to me about my government issue shirt. And then you said, yeah, my dad was, no, you said, were they on Tang? And I'm like, oh, you know about Tang? He goes, yeah, my dad was on Tang. And then it just
Yeah.
went off in my head. I don't know if you remember that. And I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
you're
No, you know what's funny about that
nice
is
kid.
I, I was 100% fishing. I knew I had a feeling you knew who my dad's band was. I saw the government issue tee and I saw your vibe and I was like, I bet you this motherfucker knows Bull Volta. So to be honest, if I remember the way I remember it is I was like trying to bait you into I was like, oh, is that Tang? My dad's band like shoehorned that in there real quick. And of course it
Nice
I
name.
was a big fan. I mean, the first EP blew me away, and then I heard The Gift. And my actual favorite song is Between the Lines. I'm actually doing it again. I'm talking about Bullet Volta. Sorry, Kevin. I mean, I think Kevin said, "Is this going to be an interview about us or Bullet Volta?"
Well, while we're talking about between the lines, I want to call out my dad because, like, me and Alex, that's also his son. Um, we were convinced that between the lines was about dad doing a bunch of coke in the 80s. Because he's like, the sun goes up and it hurts my eyes, and between the lines. And I remember being like, Dad, just admit
This
it.
is off the rails.
Yeah, off the rails. It was like, Dad, that song's about blazing coke, right? And he was just like, Max, I swear to God, it's not. It was really about like waking up and like da 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 whatever. So that song is not about cocaine. I can confirm, but
People always have told me I'm twisted, obviously, because we got the name Twisted in the show here. The line in the song, and you will see that you are twisted too. When I heard that, I was like, oh, this is my song, man. All right, sorry. Let's get back here. So, you guys, I mean, those two EPs in 2023 were fantastic. So, I was really excited to see where you were going to go next. And man, did you guys, wow. Let's talk about this amazing record and let's start with the songwriting because to me you've had great songs in the past, but the songwriting went to another level. What's the process on the songwriting?
I mean, I think it really differs based on the type of song you're writing, who's pitching it to the
Yeah.
band. Like some of our songs, there's a little bit of input of like this lyric will be adjusted here, or maybe we can say this instead of this. But usually what ends up happening, I would say more often than not, is that one of us comes in with a song that has like most, if not all, of the structure and lyrics ready to go, and everybody else just kind of puts in their piece of it. It becomes collaborative in that way.
So are you talking about you and Max, or does Kevin and Alex write too, or how who's writing the songs? I
Well,
know.
basically, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I was gonna say the when the song like basically makes it into the room, for the first time, and someone says, "Oh, I've got this idea," and it goes something like this, and pretty much right away, I think I can speak for all of us when I say that right away there are things going on in our heads where we're like, "Ooh, this would be good here," or I'm hearing this stop like right at this part, and it like she said, it becomes collaborative at that point.
So
You
we
know,
just segued into arrangements, basically. So they bring in a song and you guys arrange it together?
Yeah, but yeah, and I would also say that there's like a piece of it where you bring in something, but like me and Kevin have been playing together for so long that it's
Yeah.
like I already know his drumming style. Like,
yeah,
so when in a weird way, like when I write a song, especially if it's like a Whitman song, I'm already doing Kevin's drums in my head. Do you know what I mean? Like he's already collaborating without trying because like the way he plays is like so ingrained in my skull. So and like similar to like even Megan's voice, like I know that she has like a voice, like there's a charm in her voice that I know where I want that like specifically. So like there's a lot of songs on LP2 where I would write most of the song, like 75% of the like actual like verse chorus type shit. But I would know that I wanted a girl perspective and I want Megan's voice. And a lot of the times I'd be like, hey, this is like the song. This is what it sounds like. Can you write a verse like right here? And like maybe like some small direction, but for the most part, just being like, this is the section, fill it. And she always nails it. And I'm always just like super excited with what she comes up with. So that's another way. So honestly, there's a million ways.
Yeah.
We're kind of
So are
all
you talking about the lyrics right now, where you write the lyrics together?
lyrics and tune though.
Like, sorry, Matt.
No, no.
For me, like if I'm coming in with a song that I've already sort of composed my pieces of, I'm coming in. I don't like to come in with something that's not finished. So I will usually have all the lyrics together. But something unique about this album is Max actually gave me the music for Big Talk and said, write a song to this. And that was sort of like I had the music for it or I had the bass for it, the guitar, but the basis of the song. And I just wrote lyrics on it. So we do it differently, I think, for everything.
Yeah, every song is different for sure.
I want to go
Like
through these songs too. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no. I mean, honestly, I'm blabbing, but I was gonna say like "Woe Is Me," which is another song which is written by Danny, our old band member. Like that song is the oldest song on the record for sure. That song is like 5 years old. And that song also like totally different from anything we've talked about yet. Like it's like one part was brought, and then we all sat there in a room and like kept building on it, kept being like, oh, how about there's a fast part? Oh, how about there's this? Oh, how about whatever like, or if like Danny couldn't get through the lyrics, it would be like, oh, how about this line?
Yeah.
So it's really like all over the place, to be honest.
When I've been involved with many bands over the years, and when I worked for labels, I got involved in sequencing records a lot. And I got to tell you, you guys did a great job with the sequence of this record. At first, Megan's pointing to, who are you pointing to?
Max.
Max? Yeah. At
That's all Max
first,
is doing.
Because I
okay,
love sequencing too.
you did a great job. At first I put it on and I was like, nostalgia comes on. And I was like completely blown away by the fact that Megan was singing for starters. And then I was like, why would they start a record with something this mellow? And then bingo, it went into the song. And I was like, oh, I get it. I get it. And then Brownstone after that. It was really, really good, really good. Now let's talk about nostalgia for a second. Is that one that you brought the lyrics in on, Megan, or did Max write
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, no, so that was one of those that I had the song pretty much completely written, and I brought it in with the idea that the band would make it a Whitman song, which is exactly what happened. I brought it in, I showed them the song, and then it sort of became like, oh yeah, we should let's let it build up, and we'll do this like boom 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 thing, and then it kind of picks up pace, not pace, but energy as the song goes on. So that was what became Whitman about it.
Yeah, I'm serious when I say the songwriting and the arrangements are like the two things that really get you. The singing and the playing on the whole record's great too, you know. The rhythm section, you guys are locked in, you know. I mean, it's like, but if you don't have good songs, and you guys have great songs,
Yeah.
uh,
Thank you.
you want to talk about Brownstone for a second? I'm going to go through a bunch of these songs if you don't mind, because I love this record.
Oh yeah, this is cool as hell. I get to talk about the album we worked on for like freaking 100
Yeah.
years. So yeah, this is awesome. Uh, Brownstone. What do you want to know?
Were you driving down Boylston Street and have one brownstone after another, and you're like, I'm going to write a song called Brownstone? No, I mean, what's the
Brown.
song about?
The song is about, all right. So like the song's about gentrification, and if you're from fucking Boston, then like especially if you're born in Boston, then you're rolling your eyes right now because you're like, yeah, fucking, we know. But yeah, it's about not being able to afford the neighborhood you grew up in. You know what I mean? Like
That's what I thought.
including like fucking Dorchester, which
Yeah.
is fucking crazy. Um, but I think that a lot of it had this whole album for me personally, just for like the Max songs. Um, I didn't I all of my songs have been about breakups and relationships, and I was like kind of like over that as far as writing about it. Like I've written like 700 songs and I'm done. So it was more about like what is happening to me right now, like what's going on in my life. And it's like, okay, the fact that like I can barely afford rent, that's pretty, that's on my mind a lot. So it was as easy as that.
It's a
And then
topic people can relate to as well, you
Yeah.
know?
right. And the brownstone thing, I don't know. Do you know the kids book, Brown Bear, what do you see?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I have.
So like that
Wow.
was the connection there. It was just like kind of joking around, Brownstone, what do you see? What have the Brownstones seen? They've watched, their own buildings become fucking prime real estate when they were essentially like projects or whatever. So but it's more, it's not that serious.
Neither is Gabagool Provolone. It sounds like one of my Italian
See,
cousins from Revere, you know? Give me a beer.
Gabagool
I'm from
Provolone. That's an example of one of these songs where we don't come up with the title, so we start calling it something, and that just becomes the de facto title.
Yeah, that song originally was Gabagool Provolone. So,
Structure there before, right? That's why it's that.
yeah,
Yeah.
the original voice memo is
The-
like me
the
being
lyrics.
like Gabagool Provolone.
I think the lyrics were probably one of the last things to come around on that song.
Yeah. And lyrically, that song is just about being an old man and not getting into fights anymore and like dealing with not physically fighting people in the street and like how you have to just like
I'm
like
trying my
beat that.
best. I'm trying my best to keep it inside.
Like if some teenagers like throw something at you, like you can't beat up a bunch of teenagers. So you just gotta like take that. I don't know. It's kind of about that.
Who says you can't beat up a bunch of teenagers?
That's true. Kevin beats up teenagers regularly.
uh, if that song's simple, then GTA would be a little more complicated. Megan, there's a lot happening in this song. Could you explain some of it to us?
Yeah, I mean, so we talked a little bit about this when the album really started coming together, where like accidentally we all sort of wrote songs about just like getting older and your life changing and things being different. And for me, the songs that I wrote on this album, same thing with nostalgia. A lot of it is like chapters of my life coming to a close. And GTA is at its core about just a shitty relationship. But it's about someone who tried to control me and tell me what to do and took a lot from me, material and otherwise. And being a literal car, like took a car from me.
I
My
think there's a line about that in the song too, right?
yeah, like literally that song is about a really shitty ex who took a lot from me, from my life, from my energy, from my material possessions. But it's also about like that's not something that I'm willing to put up with anymore. I'm my own person. You're not going to tell me what to do. You're not my parent. See you later.
They make for great breakup songs, though, you know. I mean, it's like, what would the world be without a great breakup song, man? There's a
Yeah,
few on this record, apparently. And
yeah.
I wasn't gonna, I was gonna bring up emo at some point, but since you keep referring to yourselves as an emo band, you don't mind if people call you emo punk?
I I feel like genres in general are kind of like a thing where you're just like you want to be people want to be able to associate you with other bands, and so I've never been embarrassed of the emo thing, but it's always been kind of like a I don't know. It's like we don't really have a genre, so that's just the
Yeah.
thing we settled on. We're like, okay, it's emotional and it's punky, but it's definitely not like straight punk rock. So, I don't know. Honestly, you can call us whatever, and I wouldn't be
I
offended.
don't think
Of course.
emo's bad. I've worked with a few emo bands in my time. I worked with a band that I would say is the first emo band, Dag Nasty. How's that? We'll call them the original emo band.
Yeah, see,
Um,
that's what we're probably the most similar to is like old emo, fucking. I mean, I honestly I don't even know if that's what we're the most similar to. I don't know, but
I mean,
we're
we
okay
have
with
ska songs and hardcore songs every now and then
yeah,
too.
you
So
guys are a rock
we're
band.
all over the place.
You're a
yeah,
rock band, basically.
we're a
You
rock
know?
band.
Genre
Indie,
fluid.
indie, alternative, emo, punk, whatever. I'm glad you mentioned that about people like comparing bands to other bands because under Big Talk from Your Mom's Basement, I wrote Paramore underneath it. And I don't mean that as an insult. That's a compliment because Megan can go from Haley Williams to Liz Phair pretty quickly.
Ooh,
And
that's a compliment.
by the way, I think both Haley and Liz Phair are amazing. So that's a compliment right there.
No, that's awesome.
That's crazy. Thank you.
Do you like Paramore or Liz Phair? Do they mean anything to you, or is it just coincidental?
I think it's a more or less coincidental. I mean, I definitely listened to my fair share of Paramore when I was younger, but it's not like an intentional. I'm not trying to emulate anyone.
I
Yeah, I
think it's
didn't.
that with Big Talk, I gave her a pretty pop punky backbone, like song wise, and she and was like, come up with something. And I think that like I don't know, it just ended up sounding like that. Like from outside looking in, I don't see her taking a lot from Haley Williams, but we've heard someone else said that it sounded like Haley Williams mixed with Dancehall Crashers, that song. And so like I don't think it's intentional though. Like I don't
It's
think you listen or gather a lot from
and
that.
there's nothing insulting about someone saying you sound like something else because everybody sounds like someone else now. It's
Yeah.
impossible to be completely original, although you guys do have a lot of originality. And I when I listened to that song, wow, I was just blown away and I wrote "fuck your apology, they don't mean shit to me" down. The minute I heard it, I stopped. I think I was listening on through a speaker on my phone. I wish I had a record of it to listen to. But and
It's
I
coming. It's coming.
you're pressing vinyl?
The test press is coming in 2 days.
It's
Oh,
in native.
I definitely want to hear this record on vinyl without a doubt. No
Yeah.
question about it. But I stopped and I wrote that down and I was like, wow. Because I could tell that she was, you were pissed off, I mean, or did you write that line, Max?
No, no, no. That
That was me.
pretty much if someone sing, I mean, like I would say this is probably holds true 99% of the time. Like if someone sings something, they wrote it lyric wise for sure. I
And
think.
I love that one. And Bad Moon Walking is the song that probably has really got me going because I thought that the arrangements once again in that song and the time changes was just brilliant. And I like the way they sound. If you listen to those two songs together, it's like, wow, this is a really great part of a record. And when we're like fifth or sixth song into the record, that's a compliment right there when someone could say you're it starts great and it gets better. I'm supposed to be talking about all of this in my intro, and I'm doing it right to the band's face.
Thank you, though. It really means a lot.
You got
People
like,
liking the sound, it means a lot.
so talk about Bad Mood Walking a little bit because you got like three songs going on in there, it seems.
It's funny that you say that. Honestly, it's hilarious that you say that because that song, lyric wise, is pieced together other songs. Um, I mean, maybe I should pretend that it's about something actually, but it's literally like in my phone notes, like you, as songwriters, I'm sure understand this. Like you'll write like a little paragraph or two, and it won't become something. And every now and then you go through them, and you're like, can I use this? Can I use this? Blah blah blah. And so that was literally what those lyrics were for me in Bad Mood was like stanzas that throughout my phone that I was like, ooh, I like that. And then it came together in this way where I was like, oh my, it kind of makes a narrative. Like, I mean, to be honest, you have to like, it's a little, you got to kind of try hard to make a narrative out of it. But like, if you do make a narrative about it, it's like, it's about a bitter dude. It's from the perspective of a bitter dude who's like upset that essentially like this girl like either broke up with him or doesn't like him anymore. And so I gave that, that's what I was talking about earlier. I gave that, I knew I wanted a fucking, I hate to say it, but I knew I wanted a Megan part. And I was like, dude, so I was like, write a part for this where you're responding to the guy, like the guy who I'm not gonna lie is like lame as shit. Like the song, the character in that song is a fucking douche because it's like it's all about him and he's the man and yada yada. But so yeah, write a response to this guy. Like, what would you write if you were like listening to this dude like rant about this shit? And so she did it, and I thought she knocked it out of the park. And like, I don't know, I don't know. It's hard because like obviously we can't play the song or anything. But
Sorry, I got invaded over here by somebody. Can't you see me?
oh yeah.
That's
Trying to jump up on
Cam.
the keyboard.
What's the cat's name?
Camden, Maine.
Hell yeah.
I got him. There's a shelter called Kitty Angels. They're up in the North Shore, almost in New Hampshire. And I did a lot of work with them and I rescued cats. And they've run out of names for cats. So now they name their cats after towns in Maine. Camden, Maine.
I love that.
I was going to say before he jumped up here that Megan dropped the F-bomb more than you did on this album in the songs, man. I didn't know if that would be possible, but it was.
My parents are so proud.
You did not. When I talk, I mean, I only met you once in person, and I'm watching your demeanor now, and you do not seem like the person that sang those songs. So, Max, you hit it really well when you were like confused about her personality and what her songwriting was going to be like.
Yeah.
It's a dichotomy, I guess we could say,
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so let's see. Moving along here. Porsche 91, or is it 91 or 911?
Porsche 911.
911, sorry, yeah. Okay, to me, I heard that and I was thinking Southern California punk band. It kind of had that kind of a vibe going. What's going on with that song?
Um, I remember when I wrote that song, I'm a landscaper, and when I'm sure people that know about weed whackers, like they shoot rocks and sometimes they'll like put out windows and, you try and be careful of that stuff. And I was having a fuck this kind of day, like where I'm like, fuck this, dude, I don't give a shit. And specifically, there was a beautiful Porsche 911 in the parking lot, and I was just fucking weed whacking right next to it. I don't know. And I just thought it was a funny concept for a song about not giving a shit. Like, because every now and then you have those days where you're like, fuck it, dude. Like, I don't care. Because, like, in general, I care very much. Like, I think about things a lot. But, like, every now and then you're like, I don't fucking care. You're pissed. You're done. And so, like, I don't know. I guess that's what that song's about.
You
Being,
seem like you can get a little volatile at times.
yeah, but I'm a cutie in general.
And your brother seems the complete opposite of you, man. He's like well behaved,
Yeah, I'll just
well-mannered.
chill.
Oh, he is not well
His
behaved.
hair is
Do not
groomed
fool
better.
yourself.
He's chill though. He's chill.
I'm not going to bring up your father again, but he could have something to do with this, I'm sure. Um, Woe is me and overwhelming. I put those songs in the like, very. There's definitely things going on with the songwriting. The songs are about emotions. Very emotional songs. Both of those two. Overwhelming is heavy, heavy. Great vocal delivery on that one, by the way. I think the vocals are just fantastic on that. I don't know.
Yeah,
You said Kevin, excuse me, Danny? Did he
yeah.
Yeah,
woe is
that's a
me?
Danny song.
And overwhelming is yours, Max?
No, no, those are the two. Woe is me and Overwhelming are the Danny songs on the album.
So he
So
has
like,
a a good therapist now, I hope.
so like the band started songwriting wise,
I'm
like
only
as
joking, by the way. I go to therapy every week, and I hope I didn't touch a sour note there or
I didn't
anything.
take it, I wasn't offended. And honestly, yeah,
Everyone needs therapy.
if you listen to
Yes.
Overwhelming, you're like, oh God, this guy needs therapy.
Is that the one with the not bipolar? It's a reference to uh, oh God, I can't think of the word. Codependence. Yeah, that's the one with codependency, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and that's probably my favorite song on the whole album is
Really?
Overwhelming.
Yeah, I might agree with that too because it's just like the way that it builds and then rolls into that final chorus with all the harmonies and everything right before the end. I love the way it came together.
Yeah,
And then he says, "Leave me be, but don't go far." And then he fucking quit the band. So it also like has this extra like, at
Yeah,
least to me, like this extra impact of being like, in retrospect, it was like his final thing. You said you liked the vocal delivery. He
yeah.
fucking killed it. It took the entire day. Like it was at the end, like the
yeah.
precipice of like, whatever. Like,
Well, I was also going to say that he showed up just for his time. I think we booked 3 days over there at New Alliance, and he showed up for his day of vocals. He had a respiratory infection, and he was supposed to sing for like 8 hours or whatever.
yeah, he was
But
his
he did it.
his
He did
lungs
it.
were fucked up. But yeah, he got the take, and that song's pretty sick.
It's just we just entered a Cheech and Chong moment in this video because all of a sudden the room went up in smoke over there. Um, so you did this whole thing at New Alliance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was
Uh,
definitely more than 3 days total.
yeah,
It
that's
was the
right. That was the
longest. It
first.
was the longest I've ever spent probably in a studio working on one thing.
who engineered it?
Our,
Kyle Paradis.
yeah, our boy Kyle
Did
at
a
New
great
Alliance.
job.
He's the
Yeah,
Kyle.
best.
Kyle's the man.
Yeah, he's in the Oh the Humanity, that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a really good engineer. This record came out great. And I don't want to leave out Code Switch because I wanted to ask Megan about that. Did you write the lyrics on that one?
Yeah, yeah, I did. That was actually one of my older songs. I wrote that before, long before we even started recording this album.
Were you in other bands before this
No,
band?
no, no. I mean, so I was in the band when I wrote Code Switch. It just was one that I had written that we had one of those like in your back pocket. And we hadn't originally planned on recording that, but it ended up in the mix, and I'm really glad it did.
Now, did you have plans on, starting a band or being in a band when Kevin recruited you, right?
No, not really. I, at the time, if we go all the way back to when I joined for a few songs on LP1, I wasn't really doing music stuff and I didn't really plan on doing music stuff. It was something that was just sort of like a hobby, that I would do every once in a while just on my own. And then when I joined the band, I was just kind of invited to come and jam. And for a while, I was like, yeah, I'll get out. I'll come. All right, whatever. Yeah. Okay. And I would say, okay, I'm going to come. But I was living in New Hampshire, like hour and 45 minutes away at the time. So I never really did. And then finally I did. And I loved it so much right away that I just kept coming back. And I'm glad I did.
You brought a real spark to the band. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's like from the minute I heard the band, I thought the band was going to be is a great band, but then all of a sudden you guys went to another level, and you have a lot to do with that. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
thanking you because I love these songs so much.
Yeah, so Code Switch is the work that I work in addiction and mental health. And you know, when I started my career, still being an idiot, a young idiot, and doing young idiot things. So that's really what Code Switch is about, is growing up and realizing, like, I'm telling you to take care of yourself and I'm not doing a very good job of that. So you know, I gotta figure my shit out.
I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah, I'm a hypocrite.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. I know I can.
Do
So
as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, exactly.
so where are we going now, Max, with this? I mean, what's the plan here?
Right now, we have a bunch of new songs. Alex is in the songwriting process now. Um, we got new Max, we got new Megans, we got a new Kevin. Like all these songs are
Okay, what
in
about this record, though? This is like one of the
oh.
best records of the year, man.
Wait, what?
God, bands always want to talk about the next record.
Because by
This,
the time we
thought
get
that's
to
what
this
you were
point,
asking about.
by the time we get to this point, we're sick of these songs.
That's
yeah,
true.
well, I'm not. I'm like listening to them all day long, and I'm gonna really work hard at pushing this band right now because you
Oh,
guys are one of my favorite bands. I'm not kidding, you know, absolutely. As far as Boston goes, the Dogmatics record that came out this year is a great record, and there's a couple other great ones, the Croaks, but I put you guys right up there, man. You guys really.
Thank you.
yeah,
That's.
thanks, man.
Have you had a chance to go anywhere out of town at all?
Well, wait, have we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've played around. We've played in Maine, and is that it?
A lot of New England, Maine, New Hampshire. We played in.
But no, like, yeah, we're playing out like at least semi-regularly right now, two times a month or so. We're trying to keep it light, but not too light, you know. But you can always come see us. We're playing in October, October 23rd, I think.
23rd, 24th, yeah.
We're good at this.
And Lowell, yeah, you can, yeah. And we're
Playing
playing.
sometime, but we don't know exactly
We
when
got
or
tons
where.
of shows, man. I swear. Just
Brian's our record keeper, and he's not here right now.
That always happens. That always works out. I have
no,
not seen the band live yet. I mean, I heard you guys through the walls on more than one occasion, but I haven't seen you actually play, and I'm excited to do that.
we play a lot. I can't believe you haven't seen us yet. We're easily one of the best local bands. So like,
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot really hard right now. You ready? I want to put together a Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico night somewhere in a club, and I want you guys to be on the bill. Whatever the bill might be, I don't know. It'll be older bands, newer bands, rock bands,
that'd be
more
sick.
rock bands. Yeah, because I think you guys, I would love to have you be part of something like that. Absolutely. And
There.
I know I just put you on the spot completely. Sorry. I mean,
No, I'm
you're
down.
probably like,
I'll tell you now in front of God.
now we can't say no. You know, it's like you can't say no. Don't worry, you can. Um, Thanks a lot, man. And I know you guys are going to record some stuff. And if you're listening to this right now, you probably already heard it because it'll be at the beginning of the show. And if it's not, I'm going to cut this whole part out. How's that?
No, we're gonna do something nice and tasty. It's gonna sound sick, but it's gonna be way quieter than the record. So, you know.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time on a Saturday, man, to
Thank
talk
you.
to me. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks,
all the
Rico.
kind words and stuff.
All right, man. Thanks.